Hello dear viewers and welcome to Oxford. Now we're having some work done in the Channel Flip studios at the moment, so Will's kicked me out, sent me off to do my reviews in the big bad world, muttering something about fresh air being good for me. But don't worry, I brought reinforcements. Now today we're looking at Everyday Shooter, which has finally made it across to Europe on the PlayStation Network. When you first fire this up, it will seem like a hipster version of Geometry Wars, with its seemingly slower pace, more laid-back music and slick pop-arty visuals. But be wary of playing this with another game in mind. Everyday Shooter is initially pretty damn hard to get the hang of, but after spending maybe half an hour to an hour of getting fracked over by it, you should find yourself immersed in its episteme and suddenly aware of its operational systems and beating hard. Yes, you move with the left analog and shoot with the right in a 2D minefield of enemies who leave little chips in their wake for you to collect to earn points and extra lives, but there are subtle differences that make this a worthwhile addition to a collection. It's really not enough just to shoot the bad guys individually. The core of the game is the chain reaction. In each level there are certain enemies which will initiate this, some of which are quite large and will take some shooting down. It's the only way you'll score serious points, and in some levels it's the only way you'll even survive. And when you see and hear those chains stacking up, you get that tingly feeling of achievement, like getting gold stars at school. Another particularly clever idea is that you move more quickly when you aren't firing, which brings a totally different tactical mindset to gameplay. There's no doubting that the visuals are stunning, with great enemy design which varies in appearance and behaviour from level to level. This works nicely with the different music used for each level to create a different feel for each one, including my favourite, which was influenced by Miyazaki's film Porco Rosso. The integration of extra beats and harmonies when you shoot the enemies on screen is also pretty good, although not quite as intense as in Res. But while there's a lot to praise with this game, there are a few things that do detract from the experience. The initial difficulty will put a lot of people off, so I do urge you to persevere with it and spend your first points unlocking extra starting lives. It can also be demoralising starting from the beginning every time. Once you've built up a big stack of points though, you can unlock single-play versions of the levels to practice on and a shuffle feature for the main game, but this will take a while to get to. And while the graphics are gorgeous, it can be difficult to see your ship against the background or amongst the other white dots, and sometimes enemies will also be obscured. But the main disappointment for me was the PS3 controller. Not having any tactile feedback really flattens the whole experience of the game, and as the DualShock 3 controller hasn't been released over here, it's going to be some time before we know whether the game even supports rumble, but we can live in hope. Also, while movement is analog, the firing mechanism has been mapped to 8-way, giving you less precision. But non-rumble grumbles aside, this is a really great game with some interesting variations on the genre. 4 stars, and a bargain at just £5, even if it did take 4 months to cross the Atlantic.